All right, test 1 2 3, test 1 2 3. Hey everyone, I see Mark in the chat. Hello. Um, so here's what's happening right now. As of recently, yesterday actually, we had gotten news about the passing of Chad. Um, I'm sorry. Let me redo that again. So last night, actually before I even did like a Twitch stream, I got word of the passing of Chadwick Boseman, and I just wanted to take some time right before we start the podcast to take a moment of silence to think about this guy. This is the guy who literally has gone through so much while still giving so much back to us with his movies while still fighting colon cancer. So just a moment of silence before we begin the podcast. All right, thanks, guys. All right, in that case, let us start the podcast. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Oh, sorry about that little pause button here. Having some issues here, but all right, we're here. Hey, Super Smash. Oh no, I'm gonna stop doing that. All right, so I guess for now I will go ahead and start the intro. So hey guys, how's it going? My name is Justin, and you guys are watching and/or listening to episode 323 of DangIT Podcast. Let's throw in some sound effects real quick. So yeah, so it begins. Sir. So it's me right now hosting the podcast after actually missing it last week. We got Anai, who's going to be hopefully joining in. I don't remember if Sephi had said anything as far as jumping into the podcast. Otherwise, I can go ahead and give her a Discord call. What's interesting is that normally my cue to call Sephi is if she actually puts something in the Google documents. Now, of course, that's not always like set in stone. Like, of course, we're gonna forget something here and there. Just as how I'm forgetting to check my turnip prices for today, or I guess more rather, check Reddit to see if there's a better pricing for me, because I currently am going through one of those like downward inclines. For those of you who understand what's going on with turnip pricings, for some people, is that throughout the week, so you got a chance like morning and afternoon to check your prices on turnips, and sometimes it's like really high, most other times it's pretty low. So unfortunately, that's what's going through with me this week. But yeah, so and I haven't heard anything from Sephi, so we will just go ahead and leave it at that unless she lets me know otherwise to call her. But yeah, so Anai should be joining us momentarily. I think the door's unlocked. Yeah, it's unlocked. I'm like, put my glasses on, just peer at the door lock and just make sure. Okay, let me see. Okay, yeah, it's just Anaya texting me like he's on his way, but he's asking me a couple other things for the after podcast stuff, which that reminds me when I said that, it reminds me of the time that Gabe and I had done like some like little pilot episode that never really, I don't think it ever got released, in which we would talk to some people on Discord, it was just Mark, where we just had just a very standard conversation. And yeah, so we got Mark, by the way, who's jumping into the chat. He was saying like, so ooh, the bass, because we were playing some really nice some music from T-Pain that's actually royalty free actually. So we've had access to that now, and that's super cool. I even have updated the Stream Deck to actually have like some kind of little particular web link to that player on his own website, so we can access that anytime. In the meantime, we will just go ahead and just access a bunch of other things that we have curated through our soundboard. But yeah, so there's that. Shall we go ahead and just jump into some of the topics that we got going on here? I mainly wanted to just add a couple of my bits here before Anai jumps in and adds his 2 cents to his topics as well. So just want to give an update to everyone. I've been talking about, and I think the guys were kind of talking about it like briefly when I wasn't here last week. The streaming PC. We are going to assemble a stream PC for the office here so that we are no longer using the laptop, which has been doing a pretty damn good job. Just at times it doesn't. So we want to make sure that when we do our streams, whether it be here on YouTube or when we do Twitch gaming stuff, everything is just super smooth. We can access 60 frames instead of like just straight 30. Because I don't know if you guys know this, that laptop can't handle 60 frames per second like live streams. It just can't, despite how good the internet here in the office is. So, yeah. Other than that, aside from that, today I just went ahead and paid the rent for the upcoming month. So, yeah. So we are still using the office, and we don't know when that will end up, or when we'll stop doing that. But, yeah. Pretty much, I guess like with the whole inclusion of the stream PC, we're pretty much thinking of a long-term like use, but also it's temporary, but it's long-term. Who knows? I might bring that streaming PC back home again, or whatever. Like we can do wherever our next office will be. But as of right now, this is probably like the cheapest that we got going on. So we'll definitely keep this place for a while. You can thank Gabe for that one. But I have a couple of things here. You know, what I noticed the past couple weeks when I've been streaming with the guys is that my topics would just kind of like pander out to different like genres and topics, not really coherent to like one like baseline. So I decided to take over for gaming news and well, just things that generally matter to me. I wouldn't say news because it's just pretty much me like regurgitating like information that I kind of remember. So it's not always 100% correct, but I'm trying to remember if there was anything else I wanted to talk about before we jump into like the main topics. But I think we will just, well, actually, I kind of want to wait for Anai to bring it up as well because he and I are like on the same page with gaming as well. I'm not sure if you guys were here. Was it last? No, it wasn't. No, it was last week. We were streaming some indie titles, or at least maybe just one. Yeah, I think it was just one. That Anai had shown off. I forget the name of the game though, but it was super fun because it was Metroidvania, but it was like a super 8-bit. Could I even say it was 8-bit? Sometimes it was kind of hard to even like read like it was almost like 8-bit like Game Boy, like upscaled, super zoomed in. It didn't take away from the experience, but it was definitely like one of the factors that kind of created this survival horror type of like feeling for the game. I'm pretty sure Naya can like let me know what that game was again, but that was actually a lot of fun. And with like our schedules kind of shifting for the guys specifically, like for the DangIT crew, we are probably gonna have like a swap in which Naya is gonna be streaming with me instead of Christoph streaming with me because Christoph's got like stuff going on. Speaking of which, yeah, Christoph unfortunately is not going to be here for the this week's podcast due to reasons I did not ask about earlier on. This was kind of like somewhat like last minute, like, oh, I didn't know what was going on. Oh, by the way, I finally took a look. The green screen has an effect on my Reddit robot dude, so you can't really see much of the yellow, and I just see like well, for the camera, it almost looks like a reddish orange, like eyes just peering like into your souls. So I apologize if that's what it looks like. But yeah, so it's just me and Anaya for this one. Shoot, I kind of want to just jump. Yeah, you know what? I'll just jump to the topics and I'll catch up with Anaya. Like if he like comes in 3, 2. No, I'm just kidding. He's not showing up yet. All right, so let's jump into this. So there has been some rumors, and I think it kind of. You know, I added the topic like earlier on in the week because that's how early it appeared this week about like a rumored Switch that can do like 4K docked, but it's like blah 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 blah. I'm you but better type of Switch model. So I don't know too much about it. I didn't after I put that down, I never really took the time to kind of like refresh on like what the follow up was as far as that rumor. But I've been seeing actually a particular Switch model that's been showing up on people's like thumbnails on YouTube, speculating on what this new Switch is going to look like. I think the latest title that I saw while scrolling through YouTube was, I think why this a Switch Pro wouldn't really work out, and I actually have a few takes on that one too, because as you guys know, I just told you guys about the streaming PC, which by the way, like despite people saying like, oh, it's cheaper just to like, well, I can't even say I can't say other people are saying that's like cheaper. No, like when you build a PC, it's it's quite expensive and also kind of dangerous too, because of course like it's all up to you or whoever's building that PC for you. Um, but aside from that, like the whole assembly, just getting all the parts is already expensive as it is. Like the graphics card for this stream PC, do we really actually now I think about it, do we really need it? Well, I guess like it's future proofing for like playing other games, because I don't think we don't technically need a graphics card to just do straight streaming, like put information into the PC and just let it stream. That's another topic entirely. But yeah, to get like high performance like to that level is quite expensive. All having said that, I'd feel that Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 would both hold their own, right? As far as hold on, I'm actually gonna double check something, because I've been flapping my gums for a little bit, and Mark has been the only one like jumping in on stream or saying anything. So I've been very concerned as to whether or not you guys are receiving me. I guess we're okay. Yeah, it looks like we're okay. But yeah, I mean, when you want to like sell like a console, like a Switch Pro, let's say instead of like 300, it's now $400 for like this Switch Pro. I mean, people are wanting like, oh, so it can do 4K, right? It's like, well, yeah, but it's also going to be, it won't be like the best looking thing, right? And I don't think the Switch has ever, well, Nintendo hasn't really ever focused on being like quality as far as like the aesthetic, like purely like physical, like you're playing Justin DangIT Productions the game, and it's literally like maybe a VR where you see like me and you see every single texture, like at the palm of my hands to like the pores on my face to every single like hair strand on me. And they never like really focus on that. More so they will have like a really cool art style to the game, but the mechanics are and the gameplay is what really sells it. So I don't know like if having a new Switch model, like a Pro Switch, will really affect it too much. I'm pretty sure people would still buy it, of course. It's kind of the same idea as how the Nintendo like 3DS had multiple different like models for itself, from being just standard to the extra large to the new 3DS, and then the 2DS, the 2DS XL. It'll just still sell, and it's all about the games that kind of like push it forward. I do know that, like, let's take for example, if we had a game like Zelda Breath of the Wild, right? And I mean, that's 2017, but if somehow like we were able to like hold 60 frames per second like in that game, no matter what the circumstances are in game, that would be one of the greatest experiences I would ever have, like in addition to what I've already experienced so far. Because how the only way I can really like back that up really is when you hop onto YouTube and you see like a modded version of Breath of the Wild. You're like, wait, you can mod the Switch? But it's like, no, they had the Wii U. They have emulators, sure, but mainly the Wii U, I guess, has its own like mods here and there that, well, people have modded like their Wii U's to optimize for this experience for Breath of the Wild, and see how well you can actually like make things look and how well it could play. And I guess as far as like making it like better to play, I guess then becomes emulation stuff, because it's all about the PC then, which it does look like really good, but perhaps it wouldn't be that effective in that game. But I mean, like as I said before, it's about the gameplay of that certain title that really matters. Now, of course, like if it's like inconsistent, like frame rates, I remember. I'm just gonna take some things like from Maximilian Dude on YouTube/Twitch. He was talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake, and his early hands-on experience with the demo, where he noticed that the game would frequently like change frame rates from like 30, sometimes 60, but then there was like some that were like 15 or something like that. I'm just like throwing numbers out there, but essentially it was like an unstable frame rate, and it ultimately came down to like, hey devs, if you can just keep it down to just like a certain fixed frame rate, it doesn't have to be 60, it could be like 45, it could be 30. Well, actually, it should be like an even number. It should just keep it at 30. We're good. We're good. So, yeah, I agree with that. So I think as long as developers who are creating games for the Switch really just focus on making their type of experience while upholding like a certain type of like frame rate, I think that works out. And I think the Switch as it is just, it's doing so successfully, especially during these times. Indie games are just like all the craze on the Switch as well, which is why we have Anaya, who is really like hands-on as far as like the indie scene, really passionate about the things you can play there, because it's easy to play. But of course, like, it's weird now that I look at that and now immediately shift over to the fact that we got a streaming PC. Of course, it's just to make sure that like our streams are high quality, but also it could also double up as just a gaming PC standalone. To which, yeah, it'll be a higher performance, but the game itself will always be the same. So ultimately, the main takeaway is that I don't really know how well or successful the Switch, like a Switch Pro, would be, but I'm pretty sure people would still buy it anyway. But switching over to that, oh, I wish I had like some cricket sound effects. I should add that too. I think I had a couple of other like soundbite ideas, but I just don't remember what that other one was. I think I came up with it like on one of my streams, my independent streams, but I just don't remember what it was. But yeah. So I'll just go ahead and just give myself the L right here.
You blew it!
And then I'll just carry forward with the next topic here. So, speaking of Nintendo, and I think it's a little bit more focused on like Nintendo, but it's not all Nintendo. I'll just let you know about that. This deals with the Partners Direct that they had. And yeah, like insert, where's the word direct? Give us an actual direct type of like comment here and there. It's, you know, at this point, I just kind of enjoy the fact that there's people out there who really want this direct. They're not getting it. They're absolutely losing their minds. Meanwhile, there's a whole entire like situation with Xbox and PlayStation where no one is giving up like what's going on. So you're kind of wondering like, what's happening? Like, do we have anything on Xbox or PlayStation? Meanwhile, Nintendo, like, what are you guys doing? And I just love the fact that people are just losing their minds as we eventually wait, as people are also receiving like rumors here and there as far as when the next direct is going to be. Any case, this deals with the Partners Direct. I wanted to bring this up because to be honest, when I watched the Partners Direct, not a lot of things really grabbed me, but the fact is that Kingdom Hearts just seemed to be able to, despite not having any current relations with the Switch console, has like slide in real quick with their new canonical entry into the series, Kingdom Hearts Mom. Or was it Melody of Memories? But of course we're gonna call it Mom. But man, I'm trying to. That's why I kind of wanted Christoph to be on the podcast, because like he's a huge like Kingdom Hearts fan, and you know, like despite Kingdom Hearts 3 just being kind of okay, it was all right. Yeah, it was good. Like I still enjoyed it, even though like that aside from that, I've only really played Kingdom Hearts 2, and I haven't even finished that one. But yeah, I still enjoyed it. But I kind of wanted Christoph's take on this because essentially Kingdom Hearts Mom is just a rhythm. It's just a rhythm game. That's it. but it has story elements to it that ties in 3 to whatever the next game is going to be, probably 4, which you probably won't see until like the rest of your life. So yeah, that's always going to be a thing. But the reason I brought this one up particularly is because along with one of the trailers for it, there was also the reveal of what the dearly beloved menu music was going to sound like, and it's just super jazzy. I dig it. I think a lot of people have made their own covers for it at this point, but to see like kind of a quote unquote official dearly beloved jazz like rendition was super cool. So yeah, just wanted to give a little quick shout out then to Kingdom Hearts Mom, even though literally we've talked to the ground the joke of Sora's shoes, or the fact that Kingdom Hearts 3, for the long wait for it and the hype that build up like over time, is kind of like plateaued as far as like, I guess, the engagement after a while. It's they still come up with some really good music. And last thing I wanted to cover as far as games before I literally run out of all my topics for the rest of the week. And actually links up to what's going on currently, which is Gamescom 2020. I literally was not really that excited for anything because I had no idea what they would have included. I didn't really write this down on my topics, but they did show off a really long demo for Ratchet and Clank. I just don't remember what the title was, but that's for the new PlayStation 5. And okay, so all right, so I gotta be honest, guys. I'm not seeing any feedback whatsoever in the chat from what I'm seeing. It's just literally like a wall of Mark comments, and that's all I'm seeing. And I'm like, I'm kind of concerned. Like, is something wrong? Because like, sure, we don't really get that much viewership, but there's gotta be some feedback for like some of the things I've been saying, like, right? Because I'm like, what's happening? Yeah. Well, I guess we can just kind of keep going, or you know what? Let me take some like time before I even jump into the next topic, because I've been literally running my mouth for a while. So maybe I can just give myself a quick break as far as the big topics, right? Well, big topics. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to close this off, right? And then it latched right back, and I'm just going to go ahead and refresh YouTube studio, live studio, whatever, and just see where it goes. Yeah, no, okay, everything's fine. Okay, just double checking. Now I don't know if that browser thing's gonna freeze. We'll find out later. Okay, so in that case, let me go ahead and continue the conversation. So, this is dealing with Gamescom still. Aside from Ratchet and Clank, which was like super good, by the way. I don't know if that was full 60 frames or not, or they're just really good at like just motion blurring at that point, but it looks really, really good. But the game I wanted to focus on is because like it's something that we focus on Twitch, with myself and Mark. Speaking of which, it's Sea of Thieves again. You know, we're in a weird period right now where Mark and I, well, I mean, myself, let me just speak for myself here, not Mark. I don't really play Sea of Thieves anymore. But it's a new update. You know how they had cats and they immediately drew me in again? This update, starting in September, you're gonna have dogs. So I told Mark, hey Mark, we're gonna sail again. So apparently they have like 3 types of like dogs, just how you can find 3 types of cats, birds and monkeys. I think it's more of like the cats, right? I don't really notice too much of a difference with the birds or the monkeys. Could be different. I don't remember. But I'm trying to remember what the type of breeds were for the dogs. I think there was one. There was the Shiba one, right? And then I'm actually gonna like scroll through like news media here and figure out which one it's gonna be. Okay, so we kind of have like a husky, but like more so like, or I guess it's like a husky German Shepherd type of mix, or like a Shiba Inu, or another kind of like husky like like maybe medium sized dog. Or at least I think all of them are really just medium sized because of the fact that you end up still having to hold them as part of the pet holding mechanic. So you'll still hold them. I just kind of wish that I knew like what their breed was. I don't know if they'll even like maintain like a similar type of breed. Like the Shiba Inus would probably be like a different like name entirely because the cats are most certainly different as well. So we'll see. We will see about that. Yeah. So as Naya promptly enters into the room, as I just wrapped up on my topics. Then how you been?
No, I'm sorry.
You know, I was talking about how Gabe's like hasn't. Well, this happened last night. Mark and I were streaming Grounded again last night, and he was talking about how Gabe has to really talk to us. I was like, yeah, he'll get to us like eventually. Like, yeah. So once he's done with his training, eventually they'll hand him like his phone. I was like,
he mouthed off to a superior and they got him in the hole.
What?
I don't know. I think that's something that would happen to him.
Oh, Ja'Cory Brown just jumped in as well. So
Corey in the house?
Nah, Ja'Cory.
In the house.
Ja'Cory in the house.
I'm surprised I haven't said that.
But I was saying like, yeah, they'll hand over his cracked phone, and Mark's like, oh, he has his phone's cracked. I was like, yeah, like have you do you not notice like he just wears that phone naked?
Well, my phone?
No, his phone.
Oh, I was about to say my phone is awfully cracked.
And I was like, yeah, actually, you know what? Speaking of which, the guys kind of have a bunch of cracked phones. It was like, and I has a cracked phone too. I'm like, yeah, do you not notice how he throws things?
All right. You can call me out if you want. It's all good. But yeah, they usually have.
To be fair though, like it was already cracked before you threw it. So I was like, okay. Yeah. At that point,
I got Butterfingers where I'm just having one of those days and I'm just like, oops, and then I just drop it.
Do they look like oops or they look like oops?
Yeah, right. It's either oops or but okay. So wait, I didn't even know about Gamescom. I was listening to the podcast on my way here.
Yeah. So
all I care about is Ratchet and Clank.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it, so I mean, there might be other games I might have noticed, but it's definitely that. Let me see. Well, I think that was a subject I didn't write down. I only wrote down one, really.
Yeah.
And I'll just get that one out of the way because it seems like it's kind of dying down. It was just kind of trending, and then I was curious before it started trending because I was like, what the hell is going on? Anthony Fantano, that the music critic guy, right?
Music critic guy.
Yeah, he'll go by like the needle drop and shit like that. He's a bald dude with glasses. Like he has a very familiar face. You'll probably see him because he's been on YouTube for a while. But he was like under fire, quote unquote, because like he didn't give a chance to this independent kid. He's like 16 and he made this LP, mixtape or something like that.
Okay.
And I guess like people figured that he was making fun of him or didn't give him a chance to like critique his music or something. And my thing is, it happened on a Twitch stream, so I never got to see what he actually said. And then based off of something I thought was the actual stream, it didn't even seem, he wasn't even talking about the kid that people keep bringing up. So it was a little weird. But I mean, all in all, I think the reason I even wanted to bring this up is that, first of all, it was interesting. For somebody, I was like, man, is this one of the moments where he goofs? That's interesting. Because like now at this point, I'm just like, is anybody I'm like whose content I'm enjoying, are they like an asshole? Or are they gonna come out the woodwork and be a piece of shit? I always wonder that. But
does that affect your entertainment value like from like whatever they post?
It's like, man, I'm really trying to think of another example.
Like who's someone that you actually like follow, but he or she are low key not quite like
Well, like
you?
like an actual person, like them behind the content.
Yeah.
I remember what's his face was under fire, and I really gotta look into it. But it was, remember JonTron stuff?
Yeah.
Like he said something. I got so lazy with it. I was just like, man, do I feel like doing all the research? Like he must have said some really like racist shit, because I think that's what it was.
Is it one of those like sexual like allegations against him, and you're like, no,
Oh, yo, if it's like sexual allegations, I'm just done. Like, you never want to support that.
Right.
But like, I feel like when it comes to political stuff, like, because I think that's what it was. Man, I'm so lazy. And
man,
like,
I don't.
Because like, I remember somebody made an animation that was pretty funny. When it comes to political stuff, it has to be like really far into that like ignorant state, because like he might be. I'm pretty sure he is. Like, I would not go to JonTron of all people for political shit. Like, man, who do I feel like could really break down the infrastructure of anything political or government wise? Yeah, I'm gonna look to this neckbeard JonTron who talks about fucking video games and movies. No, I'm not gonna do that. But I mean, anyway, I rarely even look at stuff from him anyway, so I don't know. I've been really looking at like, ironically, Game Grumps or something in the background. Like, if man, I really gotta look into the research, because I saw that animation that somebody made and it was pretty funny. But man, JonTron must have did something stupid. Because like, it was years ago. I was working at Amazon when he brought it up, and I was like, man, did he really goof, or did people just kind of like, man, I don't watch his stuff that much anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah. How often does he post nowadays? Like,
Yeah, exactly. So like, he doesn't post that often, and then when he does, it's like, oh, okay. That's it. It's not like I'm like, hey, did you see new JonTron? Like, I don't do that. So it's just like an off thing. He's really just an off guy now, because along with his infrequent posting, that stuff that got him under fire, I'm really interested in. So if it turns out he did something like I mean, he got to be on some Ben Shapiro shit to make me really be like, I don't want to watch this shit anymore.
I don't want to watch it anymore.
I don't know. I'll stop being lazy one day and look into it. I just don't watch it. But like, concerning Fantano, right? Him as a person, he seems pretty consistent. He's more or less like a person who's reasonable in terms of what he goes for. People are giving him shit because he's a 16-year-old. Why would you do that stuff, right? And on a side note, can we just remember that people would shit on Rebecca Black when she was the kid who did the Friday video.
Yeah.
And people shitting on Billie Eilish, and she was just as young. Like, she was still a teenager. People were giving her shit.
Yeah.
Like, I remember people were giving her shit for not knowing certain artists from, like, way back when she wasn't even born. How petty people are. So, I don't know. But concerning that, I would figure that with whatever that he might have said, because I don't think he was even talking about him, which is the funny part. It was just... He had like a weird little spat on Twitter where he's just posting all this stuff right here. First of all, he's already like a nerd.
Sure.
Like, I mean, nerd.
Like,
nerd. Like, that's his whole thing.
Like,
internet,
like
busiest music nerd. He knows what he is. He knows what he looks like. Anyway, he's like, what is it? Is it shit posting? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he does that all the time.
Oh, he doesn't know. Okay.
So I guess like in lines with what's going on, and then I guess it was probably kind of like it was like in succession of what he was doing. So I was like, that shit posty attitude kind of can backfire, which is probably why people are giving him shit about it, because it looks like he even tried to like make amends for it earlier today, saying that if whatever he was saying, it wasn't towards him, and whoever this I think it's like Redville, I think that's how you say it, this person's name, and you don't need to go and look for my opinion, because that's usually how it should be for like any artist. They're like, man, I wonder what people saying about it. That's what they want to do, especially when they put out a project by themselves. And that's fair. It's a fair idea, but it shouldn't be something to keep you from doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Or like, if you find like a piece of like honesty or fact in that critique, at least don't take it so much to heart. I'm pretty sure that's what he was going for, because that's how it should be anyway. But I don't know. It looked interesting. I just thought it was interesting because it was somebody I kind of watch on the regular when I get a chance. I'm like, oh shit, let's see what kind of crap Fantano's into, especially the less argued segments he has on his channel. Anywho, so aside from that Fantano stuff, kind of dusting the wind now. Man, I don't know. It might be because I'm like all over the place in terms of just like news in general, because I don't do it often, I'm forgetting about it as we talk. Because I don't care that much about it.
All right, fair.
But what I do care about, video games, right? Okay, so I already asked you in the chat, but
oh yes.
well, depending on whatever the hell you're trying to do today, I don't know what you're trying to do today.
Film.
Okay, and then what is it? I don't know how long I'm staying. I could probably stay for a while. I got shit to do today.
Nice.
Drugs.
Drugs.
The life of the drugs. The black market. That's why it's your black babe. Yeah.
Don't do drugs,
Nah,
kids.
like, no, imagine, yo, we're about to do this mean line I found on OfferUp. This guy seemed like a pretty good seller.
Just cover addresses here.
Oh yeah.
That's it. Hey.
But yeah, check it out. Get out of here. Boop. Check this out.
Oh my god.
Okay, so another indie game. Yeah, you can say it's indie. Oh, I didn't realize she was holding a rabbit. Anyway, this game, right?
What's going on with that?
Is made from a very can I say influential? Nah, just like a noteworthy guy. Maybe infamous. I don't fucking know. People know his name. He was involved with the game called Deadly Premonition. You know about that?
Oh yeah.
His name is like Sweary or something. Something like that.
But
wow, I did not notice all the crap on this cover. But
all limited run games.
Yeah,
right.
They're very important people. They're very important. This game is something I was like, man, I'll probably just start doing this. It'll probably be something to stream. But I'm really interested in this game because when I looked at Deadly Premonition the first time, me and Gabe talked about it years ago. It was stacked on as like a game that's like super like 50-50. Like people hate it or
people just kind of
like it,
love it,
right? And then when I looked into it, because I like, as far as like getting like another perspective on it, my friend was he's like super into video games. So when he was talking about it, the way you should really approach this game is like it's considered, apparently a way to consider it. It's the room of video games. Like, you know, the room, like with Tommy Wiseau, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know about the room?
No.
Tommy Wiseau?
Mm-mm.
I hate her. You don't know about that? What? What are you doing, Justin? What?
Give me a minute.
What are you doing?
Give me a minute.
You don't remember the video where he's like, I did not hit her. I did not. You don't remember that guy?
Sounds well. I mean,
why'd you gotta see him? He has long black hair and he talks funny, weird as hell. Just look up the room.
The room.
Tommy Wiseau. Basically, that's what I'm saying as far as like leveling and like measuring up, like comparing this game to that movie, because this movie is it's bad, but it's hilarious. It's hilarious and entertainment. That guy. That guy.
Look at the football.
I did not hit her. That guy. Okay. So, comparing that game to that movie, in lines of it being something that, like, it was putting in some type of work, but it's like... And also, if you want to just see the game itself, like, what I'm bringing up, there was a playthrough? Yeah, the Game Grumps did a playthrough on Deadly Premonition.
Yeah, they did.
And I think Oni Plays did too, or some shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
The look of this game is like, it's kind of, it just doesn't look polished. It doesn't look like something that's appealing to a lot of people. And then just like, far as assets itself in the video game, everything is fucking huge. And I'm just thinking like, there's something to it. Like, they got to be aware of the stuff they're putting out. Because when I'm looking at this game, I don't think it's cool like, what is it? Was it, I think when me and Gabe were looking into it, kind of stuff being compared to like Dead Rising in terms of like a zombie game, because zombies or something's involved, like supernatural shit's involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like then there's these segments where you're playing in the game and it's just like you're what is it, your FBI agent, and you're just trying to figure out stuff like a murder in the small town, but like it just feels so like jagged. It doesn't feel like anything's like super polished and like clean. Especially like the fighting system, it just looks. It looks kind of boring.
Kind of like half. Maybe.
Like, yeah,
because
like
they had an idea like this will work.
Yeah, but then again, you could have like vibes of like old video games that aren't as polished but still fun. Like recently, I remember playing GoldenEye again. That game is like janky, right? Compared to what we have now.
I mean, but all of them were.
Yeah, right. It was just like N64. I got a point with the C stick. It's not even really a stick and shit like that. Like, I gotta do that. But it was still fun to play. So that's why I'm assuming the kind of vibe you get when you actually play Deadly Premonition. But it all led to this? Like, this is another game made by that guy? It's like, what's his name? Sweary? It's Sweary.
I'm curious, like,
Sweary.
if it's the same person did Deadly Premonition, like, how's this one gonna play?
See, I don't know. Like, I think this is played like a, it's like 2D or something? It's played 2D?
Okay, I was like, hold on. I see what looks like an anime girl. I'm like, what are they...
I don't know.
What are you trying to pull?
She's bleeding. Somebody punched her and then she got mad and she ran away with her
she's
Mr. Fuzzies.
bleeding? Oh,
Yeah, you see? Yeah, I'm like, what the heck? And I'm like, I'm really curious about this game. Because I saw 5 seconds of gameplay because I was like, oh, I don't want to spoil anything. Because the way it's like advertising itself, you're going to be in for some twists and turns and shit.
No, did you already like mess up the
What are you talking about?
the case?
Oh no, that happens depending on whoever the hell shipped it. Cause look at that. Yeah, how did I do that? I just opened it today. Like no.
Then again,
No.
then we
No.
we had a mini tussle.
No.
over-
Oh yeah. Oh, a tussle on the couch ripped it. No, it doesn't do that. Like I remember I got one of my games from them, and then it had like a bend. How do you bend this? How? It doesn't make any sense. And I got that in my book. I was like, you know what? I'm not that picky. As long as the game is okay. Oh, it's gone. Like if that happened, then I would trip. But like other than that,
Oh, the game's gone.
oh, not here.
Oh.
I would have been a little upset. But yeah. So that game, I wanted to give it that shot because
Okay.
as far as streaming goes, I'm definitely gonna just stick to doing indie.
Oh, it's rated M for mature. If the blood didn't
Rated
give-
M for mediocre. Oh wait, I don't know.
Yeah, it's called The Missing.
I'm missing the damn point right now. That's for sure.
Okay.
And we gotta wait until we play it.
J.J. Macfield and the Island of Memories.
JJ
Is the subtext.
JJ Abrams? Is that what it said?
Nah.
Your boy JJ Abrams? Creative differences over Star Wars because it's ass. What? Anyway,
Want to take a look at this synopsis here, actually. Yeah, J.J. Scowers. Okay.
use your
I wish I had like.
use your head. Wait. No, let me see.
I'm gonna slam this at your nuts. I was like,
It was like, oh no. But nah, we'll play this later. We're gonna go on this completely blind. Haven't read anything about it. As far as like gameplay, I saw 5 seconds and I was like, oh, I'm good. Because I didn't want to spoil myself to it. Because I got a little iffy on like, if this is the guy who did all that Deadly Premonition stuff. Mind you, there's a second one. I'm a little curious. But people like that. So I really want to see what this guy
what is it all about?
this guy does. Sweary. I think that's how you say his name. Sweary. Swear.
Looks like a total like left field like turn like out of nowhere as well.
Fucking
Not that I even know this person like personally.
yeah. Usually, what is it? Anything involving a farm, there's always gonna be some jive shit in there. So
With blood, a farm and then blood.
yeah,
Usually don't really mix well
it's
together.
gonna be wild. So I'm really interested in this game. Shit. What else did I have?
The last time I ever dealt with like a farm and blood was involved, it was Walking Dead, and you were almost about to eat your friend.
Wait a minute. Oh,
You remember that? You remember that bit?
The Telltales.
Yeah, the Telltales.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
You know, you had a wounded friend. You guys come across a farm with some like seemingly homely neighbors taking care of the ranch. They took him upstairs to tend to him, and you almost ate him.
Disgusting.
In fact,
Pretty
Clementine could have gotten like a good taste of this person too.
Yeah, cannibals are always a weird thing.
That's
Cause like, shoot, we're about to talk about the apocalypse. Is there anything? There's nothing going on in Oh, I did. Okay, I have another topic.
Oh.
It ties with apocalypse.
Oh.
It's the Umbrella Academy. Have you seen that series?
I've seen clips now.
I watched both seasons.
What's your take?
I'm cool watching that entire thing once.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those like I experienced this series.
I experienced it.
The biggest problem was, and I was wondering how they're gonna deal with it because I don't know how old the series is. It's actually based off a comic.
Okay. I see that.
So, your whole angle is that there are these superpowered kids that got born all on the same day, just like out of nowhere, like 1989 or something like that.
Riverdale?
What?
No.
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 Yeah. All right. Anyway, it was like 43 kids, and like some billionaire was like, "Where are they at? Give me the kids." And then like out of all the
kids.
yeah, basically, right? One like I think the opening scene was like, "How much you want for it?" I was like, "This bastard." But like, what is it? He only got 7 out of the 43 that were like documented, and he's training them to be superheroes and stuff like that to save the world.
And
By the way,
it turns out one of them's just weird. One of them's just weird. It's like, you got no powers. What happened?
no, but okay. Do you mind spoilers to that series? Would that be something you want to watch?
I don't really care for the series as far as watching it, so you can go ahead.
All right. Give a 5-second pause.
5-second
You
pause.
better get
Spoilers.
spoiled to a whatever series. So like that's why I kind of don't care. But
Okay.
so it goes like this. There's 7 of them that you got.
7.
First one, he has super strength. He's a resilient kid. Blah blah.
Sure.
He's able to take a bullet. Whatever. Fuck. The second one, he's able to control the curvature of objects.
Oh, okay.
So like, I feel like that's a power. I know that's a power in something from another either a Marvel or some
Yeah, there's a
superhero.
lot though.
Yeah, right. So he's able to control that shit. So he usually carries knives, and he can just like, yeah. He'd be like, yeah,
And
then go
it
that
just
way.
goes.
Yeah, so he can just do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
The third one, I'm pretty sure she was number 3, right?
Okay.
She has this ability, like, only if you listen to her, so if you have earplugs, you're good. But she has to start something by saying, I heard a rumor. She calls it rumoring people. So if she rumors you, she can just make you do anything she wants you to do.
Oh. Okay.
I heard a rumor that you shot your friend in the foot. Now your friend ain't got a big toe.
Chad,
so,
what's happening?
Yeah,
I need to
right?
find a gun.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's the funny part. You should have a rubber band. Who knows? But
Oh, okay.
that's something she can do. The fourth, who's number 4? I think he's number 4. The fourth one is a guy who's able to communicate with the dead. Like he's able to just have that, have that ability. And he's kind of the weirdest one to me because I thought like, I think the only reason because like the guy who bought the kids, he's super like particular and strict. Like he's a bastard in order to get whatever he has as an end goal, even at the kids' expense of being, not traumatized and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But he has them all go out except for one of them. Out of those, like one of them is just a dud, quote unquote.
Oh yeah.
But number 4, I'm pretty sure he's the one who just like he can talk to the dead, but he's only sent out during all the action to just be used to seeing dead people. I don't know. I just don't get why he's on the field because that's all he can do.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, all right, you.
Yeah.
You take the bullets. You snipe for a round because you do curvature stuff.
Yeah, right.
You say hi to my grandma.
Yeah, just experience it. If the robber
Just
comes
witness.
back, yeah, after we see the robber, you can talk to him and call him an asshole in the afterlife if you so please. Because I don't know, I guess like there's something later on that kind of explains why he could have been involved. Mm-hmm. But your favorite person, I don't know you, but I don't know.
Immediately take back.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what that is, but still, so that's number 4. Oh crap, number 5 was he's probably I want to say he's probably the best character.
Best character.
I want to say definitely like there's some stuff that goes on. He goes through some shit, but
Okay.
his ability is to just be Nightcrawler.
Oh really?
Like
okay.
the scientific breakdown is he's creating like he's able to manipulate his personal time and space. Mm-hmm. Like he could just be like bloop, blah, 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 and shit, right?
Bloop.
Number 6 is I'm pretty sure I'm getting the numbers right too. But number 6 is a kid who, as far as like the proper timeline in terms of how the story begins, he died somehow. I don't think they ever said how, but he died. He had the ability to, I guess, he has like a monster in his stomach or some shit. It was like a weird scene where like he was like, I don't want to do this, and they were like, you have to. They're robbers. And he's like, I don't want to do it.
Oh, I guess I'm
He's like, there's still some robbers in there, and then he goes into the room, and then you just see these tentacles just ripping bitches apart, and then he comes out all blooded up. He's like, I didn't sign up for this. I was like, damn, this is sad. But that's basically all the powers in a nutshell. And then number 7 is dead. She can play violin, but
I told you, it's always a weird. She was just weird.
She's just weird.
Literally, the dude just trying to find them all. Is like, all right, you got power, right? You're just playing the violin nonchalant, but I know you got something.
Yeah, it always like, come on now. She can't just be born all this weird shit and just have nothing. She can't do nothing, but that's the case, right? So all these stories, blah blah blah. They find out shit. Number 5, at some point he just vanished, like prior to the storyline. Then you find out that he was using his powers to like travel through time. He was trying to just do that. That's basically what he was doing with his powers. But he traveled so far in time that at some point he reached the apocalypse, and then like he found all his siblings older and dead, and then he was just by himself because there's a limit to his power, and he didn't know how to control it to go back. So he spent like 45 years in the apocalyptic timeline, and then he's just like by himself, and then he came back and to the proper timeline, but instead of like coming back as the aged old dude because all those years, right? He
reverted back.
Yeah, he reverted back into being a kid. So he's technically like 60 or something, I want to say.
Okay, like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
experience wise,
like experience wise, yeah. But like his body is back to being like what? I think he was 13, 14, something like that. All right, then they go through all this stuff, and the whole series is just them trying to find out what causes the timeline to go into the apocalypse. All this stuff's crazy. Blah, blah, blah. It's a problem because they hit a part where you get to the point of like, oh man, how'd this happen? You find out that the kid who was time traveling, number 5, became an assassin after getting scouted by someone who's able to control time as well. And they were like, oh man, we like your skills. You have the ability. Da, da, da. And then you could just do that, shoot Kennedy. And then I'm like, what? I'm like, wait, hold on. And then just all this going on, right? He has all this shit going on. He's probably like, he's just super like focused because of course he did it all for his family. He doesn't want to see his family die again. But everybody sucks. Everybody. Like, of course they're likable in the suckiness. You could do that shit.
Sure.
Number 1, he got like huge. Like his muscles don't make a lick of sense when you see him. He's like, yo, his back. What the fuck? Can he even wipe his ass? I don't know.
Dude, put a stinging note like right behind him.
Dude, yeah, he'll probably feel it, but he can't do it. And then like all this muscle, right? And then he's just like, what is it? It's him and the other number. Like I think she's number 3, the girl who's able to room her shit, right?
Yeah.
Apparently they have a love interest, and I'm just like, me, right? Follow what I'm saying, right? They all got adopted together.
All of them.
They're adoptive brother and sister, right?
Oh.
Right? And then, right?
And
And the whole time I'm thinking, I'm like,
are they going that
you
route?
like your sister? like, no. So, me personally, right? Because I don't like that. That's not, no. And I'm just thinking to myself, they gotta hit this. They gotta bring this up. They gotta bring this up as a point, and they do in the second season.
Okay.
Number 2, he's like the Raphael of the group. He's like the fucking. He even does like he has a Nightcrawler, Night Watcher from like I don't know if you remember that Ninja Turtle movie where Raphael's all suited up in a motorcycle suit as a superhero.
Oh yeah.
He has that going, right?
Oh, okay.
All right, and he's like all obsessed with being the hero and shit.
Sure.
And then he just has beef with number 1, the big guy.
Yeah. Can't reach sticking
Yeah,
note.
I don't know if he can wipe his ass. I just like I feel bad for him. It's just a lot of stuff with that going on. My problem is it's definitely the time travel thing, because it especially got murky in the second season. But number 7, the dud who can play violin and shit. She's all very sad and stuff, which is understandable because you see how they treated her when she was a kid, and you're like, fuck, man, like why? Like if anything, she's the most like sympathetic character. Okay. Because it's just like, fuck. Why? Like, y'all could, and then the dad just finds any reason to be like, if you're not training, go fuck yourself, like that type of shit, right? And it's just like, the kids, man. And then I'm just thinking like, then you find out she has powers, right? And her power is like
being weird. Continue.
It's eccentricity. No, that's not a power, but she's able to manipulate her emotions and control sound waves. Either being like a fucking like a violent sound waves. She can just outburst with energy and stuff like that.
Oh,
And then it gets like weirder because like she does weird shit in the second season. I'm like, is that? I guess that's technically sound. I guess it is or some shit, right?
Yeah.
And then you find out she's the cause of the apocalypse because some dude she met that was like she's like super into because he was like, you know, you teach me how to play violin. She's like, oh, okay. And then right, and then you find out this guy, he was like, he's like the you know Syndrome from fucking Incredibles.
Yeah,
he's that guy.
Oh,
he's like the fan who's like, well, fuck you. And then he got all upset. Well, then again, like you see his backstory is kind of fucked up. He had an abusive dad, right? Then he killed his dad. And then he went to jail.
Okay.
But then at the same time, when they figure all the shit out, they go into his house and then you see every picture of them, like their eyes crawled out and shit because they were heroes as kids. He was like, well, fuck you, man, because the dad was an asshole to him too. Like the main dad who adopted everybody. He was like, if you're not special, get the fuck out and shit. And then like everybody was laughing at him on the news. Rude, ridiculed this kid. I think he was like 12. I don't fucking know. But he was in jail for like 12 years. And then it was just nothing about him until he started trying to date the...
Violin girl?
We'll just call her... Yeah, Violin girl number 7, whatever the fuck. Because... What's the names? Oh, fuck. God, this series is too much. They have that. And then he's trying to take advantage of her because he found a book saying that her powers are too dangerous. Which is why the dad was like, you're not special. You suck and shit like that. That was basically it. He couldn't figure out a way to control her powers. So he even had the other girl manipulate her brain to say that she's not special. She basically rumored her and saying like, though you're just ordinary. And then all that shit, right? And then later in the series, it starts piling up, starts getting more dramatic. She almost kills his sister. And I'm like, wow, man, she should be dead. But fuck it. I guess it's a TV show. And then, what is it? They almost die, right? This is the climactic scene because she's killing everybody. Like she has energy tentacles. So, the last episode, they're about to die in a concert because they're trying to take her out, and then they can't because she sucks. And then out of nowhere, what is it? The other sister, the rumor girl, she shoots past her, right? Like it looked like you should. Oh man, she's about to cap her sister, and that's what I was thinking. Me personally, I was like, oh, and then she just like shot past her head, and then she freaked out. And then she shot the moon.
What? Half the moon is gone?
No.
Eggman. I should know. Maria. Shadow. I heard you, KYS.
No. I can't. The ultimate life
Goodbye,
can't
Maria.
do this. Fucking drop. And then she shot the moon.
Okay.
Alright, and then the whole moon just collapsed. And then her fucking Armageddon without Bruce Willis happens. And then it's just asteroids hitting the planet. And that's the apocalypse. But before everybody died, number 5 just like went on a whim and was like, I'm gonna save everybody. Time travel backwards. There. That's how that ends. And then in the second season,
Okay.
right? The second season, they just end up as separate. They all end up in the same spot, like the same like geographical spot, but timeline wise, no. They're like a couple of years separated.
Oh.
I think Klaus, that's his name, Klaus, the one who could talk to dead people. He was like the furthest the time. He made a cult. Luther, yeah. Luther's the big dude who probably can't wipe his ass. I swear he can't. I might be wrong. He ended up like being involved with the mafia or something. He was just like a bodyguard for a mobster. And then number 3, her name was, oh God, I know it. Allison, the girl who's able to rumor people. Yeah. She's black, so she ended up with civil rights stuff because they're like in the 60s.
Oh.
So she ended up being involved with civil rights movement. So that's a smart take on that. I was wondering what they're gonna do because like she even walked into a bar that said whites only. I was like, bigot, and then like it's gonna happen. Number 7, she got hit by a car. She lived.
Oh, okay. I'm glad the moon's okay.
Yeah. she got hit by a car. Then she has amnesia, all that stuff. Number 5.
Okay.
He went through it twice. He went through one area where he saw everybody just fighting. He saw his siblings. They were just fighting a bunch of armies and shit. And they were kicking ass. And it was just like, they were saying the Russians invaded America. Then you see another apocalypse happen.
Okay.
It's another kind of apocalypse. Instead of the moon hitting, it's bombs hitting. And then he has to find out a way to stop that from happening. And that's the whole thing of season 2. So me personally, I'm over here thinking about myself when I'm watching this. I'm like, it's literally season 1 somewhere else.
Yeah, they just kind of recycled it.
Yeah, it's like the whole idea of stopping an apocalypse from happening, just in a different fashion. This series is whatever. Like, I'm like, okay, I watched it. That's why I get when I watch this series, because it had a little point of getting too like over the, like, too complicated.
Yeah.
Because like time.
When you talk about time paradoxes and you try to like make it into a coherent story,
right?
You're gonna lose your audience somewhere.
It's like multiverse is probably the best way involved with time travel.
Yes.
Because in that, or like, man, am I gonna talk about One Piece every time I'm on? One Piece has this thing, right?
Sure.
Where this girl, she can only move forward in time. That's all she can do. It's not like a time reverse. She can't do that shit because consistently in terms of time travel, that's the only thing that makes sense, to move forward. Basically, she has a power to just like speed past being cryogenically frozen. She just walks through a time loop and then she's in that future. So it's considered, when she's time traveling, think of being frozen.
Okay.
But skipping that whole process, basically.
Okay.
She's just walking through a portal and then she ends up in the future.
Okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
See, that makes sense in terms of like something not causing paradoxes. Because it's not like she's gonna.
You're gonna see herself.
Yeah, she's not gonna see herself in the future because there's not a future of her doing that.
Right.
But in this series, remember when I was talking about him shooting Kennedy? He had to go find him doing that, and I'm like, but
what?
You're the one who went through that shit to get there as a child and stop the apocalypse, and you're in another ring of stopping an apocalypse, just bombs this time. So. Umbrella Academy. Personally, I wouldn't recommend it. I'd just be like, if you want to just look at something, you can. And they have the weirdest choice in music sometimes. They just always play music for like certain action scenes or whatever. I think the only thing I really like from that series, like the old man who plays their dad, I like the actor. The actor's pretty cool. He has that whole like that charisma of being like a strict, like fucking book heavy bougie bastard, because he's a billionaire, and the way he talks is like you can see that from his like old bro breaking belt. He's a cool actor. I really like that. Number 5's actor is pretty cool too. Like I think the actor is actually like 16 or something.
Oh really?
But like, I mean, that motherfucker's cool. Like I feel like whoever I think his name's like Adrian or something. Him as an actor for that character makes a lot of sense because he has this whole disposition, like even like the way he moves. And the way he talks is supposed to be this old dude in a kid's body.
Right, because 60.
Yeah, right? He carries that pretty well, considering.
All things considered.
Yeah, right? Because I think he's probably my favorite character from what I'm watching. Luther is the buff dude, and Allison is a little love interest. Weird. In the second season...
I was gonna ask, like, how did they...
How did they bring that up? They were just like, it was her, number 7, I think her name's like... what is it?
Oh God,
Vanya, yeah, because like her, it's like a plot. They even use that as like some weird plot thing in the story because her name sounds Russian, and you know, Vanya and Klaus, the dude who could talk to dead people. They were just chilling in a salon. She like brought it up. He was like, "You like Luther? Everybody knows." And she's like, "Isn't that kind of weird?" And then she's like, "Well, technically, we're not related." And Klaus was like, "You know what? Every time you use technically, that's a huge no-no. Like that's not. You set yourself up for failure." And I'm just thinking, like, damn, I like the fact that they called that out. Will they stop it from happening? No.
Next episode, what are you doing, step bro?
Yeah, that's what I was watching. I was like, step bro? I hope step bro. I'm like, oh god. No. Oh my god.
Help, guys! I'm stuck.
Yeah, like man, I'm stuck. Hey, step bro, what are you doing? No. It's so bad. But I don't know, man.
Did they just kind of like kick underneath the fridge like ice?
Like they kind of it's sparingly. Like it goes back and forth. I think every episode is like at least 40 minutes. Yeah, 40 something minutes. Yeah. But whoo, oh boy. That was something. I watched that. Like I remember when I brought it up to another friend, she was like, she said the same thing. She was like, "That's something I only watch once," and I agree. And to be honest, I think the only reason I was even onto that is because first of all, I've heard of it a lot, and I'm just like, man, that sounds interesting. Mm-hmm. Then fucking that dude, the one guy, Philip DeFranco, yeah, he brought it up in one of his Today in Awesome shits. I'm like,
oh really?
You brought it up. You said Umbrella Academy is very interesting, blah, 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 whatever you say. And I watch it. I hate it. I don't hate it vehemently. I just hate it just a smidge. Because, like, as far as I know, I feel like the only thing I really like from the fact of, like, if I want to go context-wise, I'm assuming all the actors had fun doing this. Mm-hmm. It could be fun.
Could be fun.
I'm pretty sure everybody had fun for it. Just dude, you can't ignore all the shit there, man. Story wise, I'm like, oh, you fucked it up. Time travel is such a finicky thing.
Right.
Just go with multiverse, which is something they're kind of going for because it changes stuff that happens. Like,
sure,
in the end of the second season, right? All right. I forgot to mention something that carries on. First and second season, the guy who talked to the dead. He's able to see their dead sibling. And he's just been with him that whole time, right?
Oh, man.
Since he died. He died like when he was like a kid, right? Another thing they messed up on. How did he age if he's dead? How does he age if he's dead?
Look, half the moon's gone.
Dude, you can't. Oh, God. That's another thing I got mad at. Because I was like, oh, maybe he died. Maybe he died like that. But he died as a kid. You can't do that. You can't just die and then get older.
And then age.
Because I don't... Oh my God. Because like there's a scene where there's a bunch of other dead people talking to Klaus. I'm like, they must have died like that. They showed everybody's wounds when they died. So that's how they died. They died in that state. How did Ben die? He doesn't have a mark on him or anything. He wears the exact same jean jacket. No, he wears the same hoodie and like, it looks cool by the way. I wouldn't mind rocking that. It looks cool. But he wears that, even as a kid. But he just grows into it. He had a stylist in the dead, like his hair changes. I'm like, oh no, it doesn't make any sense. But, so that happens, right? He watches them this whole time. He can't talk to nobody but Klaus, who was a junkie. There's so much to explain in the series.
Jesus.
He carries that on.
Okay.
And then in the second season, Vanya is, by the way, reamping what happened in the first season. She was about to be the cause of the apocalypse yet again. And then it didn't happen. And I'm like, oh, okay, so that's how. But the only person that saved her was Ben, the dead one. He manifested in her psyche or something. I'm like, okay, I can kind of give that a pass. A little bit, right? And I'm just thinking, all right, he sacrifices his last line of life, whatever the fuck. He goes into the light after helping her, like, not be a bomb and shit.
Okay.
And that happens. And then at the end of the season, after they go back in time and stop the apocalypse in 2019, right? That's where they go. Ben is alive this time, but he's all edgy. He has a scar and shit. And I'm like, oh, wow. I'm maybe I'll watch season 3. I don't know. And I'm just,
whoa, wow, you lost me.
Yeah, dude. That's the only thing where it's like the multiverse thing kind of changes, because the one thing I guess you can really garner from that, right? The only thing you could salvage from that series is that no one is insignificant, which is why they had such an issue trying to find out how or who causes the apocalypse, because every single person is a part of the equation. And I'm like, that's interesting, but you fucked it up. And I'm just like, damn. I'm probably just gonna watch season 3 for the fuck of it, because I'm already 2 in. Like, why would I say no?
Yeah, right.
I just don't know. I mean, who knows if they're even gonna have it within this next couple of years or some shit because of what's going on.
Right.
God, I'm now getting mad again, because like I'm thinking about how does someone age when they're dead? This ain't fucking Bleach. This doesn't make any sense. And even then, that doesn't make sense. But it's just something that happens. And I'm just like, well, here I am. Wasting my goddamn time. But it's okay.
So what you're saying is that you got Sword Art, you watched too many episodes, and now you just can't leave.
You gotta buckle up.
You just gotta buckle up.
In the roller coaster, you can't just be like, sir, can I get off? No, you can't. You can't.
All right, so I just want to segue into that because before I left to the office, I watched it's not the last episode of the season of Sword Art. It's just the climactic portion of it where you fight the big bad.
Okay.
And I just kind of just watched it. I didn't feel anything particularly. There was some weird they've always done ass pulls here and there, and I just kind of looked at it and I thought no dead ass last episode.
Okay,
they have, well, first and foremost, they have so many characters. They try to share all the camera time with. We don't have time to carry that when you only got 20 minutes per episode.
Okay, all right.
So there's a season with focusing on Asuna. It's probably by default the best season because it doesn't deal with Kirito at all. But it deals with Asuna being this girl who actually has terminal cancer, and so she dies, but she carries a long-lasting impression. Taught Asuna a new sword skill. This season, Asuna is on sidelines as usual, observing Kirito just doing Kirito stuff, and so. As he's still fighting this character, Asuna's oh shoot, what should I do? And all of a sudden, this character that you assume died just comes out of nowhere as a ghost figure, says it's okay, Asuna, it's all right. See, all right, hold on. So you see, all these data things that are happening, all these souls and whatnot.
All these souls, these data souls, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, all these data souls are just roaming around, just trying to find a place to belong to, because deep down, what's integral is the bonds that we create. And it's we I know the formula here.
Friendship.
But the thing is that she doesn't show up once, but she shows up on 2 occasions where Asuna is in the previous episode she shows up, next episode she shows up again. I'm so are you dead, or are you
Oh no. So
and they do the same thing with the secondary main character of the arc, with this guy named Yujiro. He dies.
Yujo?
Yeah, Yujiro. Okay,
it's time to duel? What are you talking about?
But he's kind of the parallel to Kirito, except not personality wise, just as class, I guess.
Oh, class. Okay, I was gonna say. I was is he an ass puller too? What else are we talking about?
Kind of, yeah, because he shows up in the final fight when he's been dead for 12 episodes. But figuratively speaking, he's he wills himself to hold the blade that he wouldn't otherwise be able to hold. And let's finish this, Kirito. It's and you as the audience, you just have to just sit there.
Oh man! You have to sit there.
You're sitting there you're being dragged into a movie you don't otherwise want to watch, and you're just absorbing it.
Oh my god!
But it's 2 hours, so you're way past critiquing it now. But
oh my god, the animation's nice.
Yeah, they have too much of a budget for that. I'm telling you.
God,
but I'll tell you a show that does deal with a little bit of time travel in itself. ReZero.
Okay.
Have you been watching any of it at all?
I remember watching it way back when it first started.
Okay.
I was in the vein of just wow, this is serious. Just a lot of suffering. And then what was it? Is it Ram, the blue hair one?
Rem.
Yeah, Ram. Okay, yeah, her.
Rem, the blue one.
Yeah, so I was best girl.
Yes. Until you realize that Echidna's secretly the best girl now.
Echidna?
Oh yeah, but
there's a character named Echidna.
Yeah, but
was that in the first season?
No, she's showing up this season.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Her name was Echidna. Why? That's a weird thing because I saw that in another.
And before you ask, no, she doesn't have them. Echidna.
So, no. So with that in mind, I might revisit it, but I'll have to watch it from the beginning just to remember everything because I
okay.
Because I do that with stuff I've been out of touch with. I really gotta look into it again because I was maybe I watched this back when I wasn't as critical of stuff.
Okay.
Which is ironic because when I watched Sword Art the first time, I wasn't as critical, but I felt like something was off about it.
Yeah, someone's off.
Like it was like
By episode 5, you're like,
yeah, like what is this? What are you doing? Like, what's going on? What's the real? And then, or the fact that I can only give Kirito props because he beats up like sexual assaulters. Give him props for that. He beat the fuck out of that guy. He jacked this shit up. Like he was in the, I think he was in a washroom or something. I think it was his cousin that was about to get assaulted, and he rocked that dude. Rocked this shit. Like I was like, oh yeah, like he's supposed to do. And then with that girl, the guy who was like looking up on Asuna after he was kind of like to the ground and shit.
Oh yeah.
Because like Kirito back when they were, I don't know, he was an elf or something. I don't fucking know.
Right.
And he was looking. He was like, oh no, right now, get the power finisher right now, pro tag, and then he got up and kicked his ass. I was like, yeah, nigga, and then, like that's it. All right, so that's all I get props on with Kirito. Yeah, that's all. But
okay.
As far as
You really should watch the season.
that's all I can think about now. It's so funny. But
well, actually, maybe you could watch it. It gets kind of creepy.
I do. I feel like whoever I forgot the name of the guy who does it because he also did Excel World. I think they just have that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Excel World did that at some point too, where it's like a creepy dude who gets his shit rocked. I might be wrong. But yeah, that's what it all. It's all cool. Kirito's cool for that. ReZero, I'll take the time on that. I can put a pin on that. But it's definitely something I was just like, oh, that's nice. It was a nice moment in the first season when I remember Rem giving that whole speech about how much she really cares for.
Yeah. Subaru,
yeah.
Beep,
I was like, he's some kind of car. But I was just like, yeah, that was very sweet. Mad corny, but sweet.
Sure. I mean, like, yeah.
There's some stuff that
Yeah. Like, all right.
What is that? Yeah. She was like, you beat a man. I was like, good. But that show was like a lot of suffering, and I'm just like, damn.
Yeah.
And I gotta keep waiting to see what he does next time.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
It sucks, like in that regard, but the way that they do it is just like, well, it's all subversive, like in like a saturated like genre that is like
the isekai.
Yes. Mm-hmm. This one's the one where like the main protagonist isn't overpowered, doesn't get really technically any better, not yet. But or like it's just it's scaled down. It's scaled the degree of how he progresses in his OP. Like, but then again, as cool as that whole idea is, right? I like when they what do they call it? Subverting a genre. Yeah.
Where it's like it's overplayed. But you got shit like the time I was reincarnated as a slime. That bastard is OP.
Yes.
Fuck. Like who were? But like the way it subverts it is that a slime, of all things, a slime is being overpowered. You never do that. You play Dragon Quest and gut that little bastard. That's all it is.
That's it. You're done.
Yeah. But I'm level 1 and shit like that. But they make a slime overpowered in the series. Very interesting. Blah blah blah.
Very lighthearted, but then it gets serious though.
Like the way they
reasonably.
Yeah,
too.
It's just the way they write around characters being interesting and garner something that keeps your attention. That's what makes it more interesting. It can be something like it could be kind of like they could take a cliche and make it more like condensed with character. That's what they really got to go with. Like even with what's his face, Konosuba, that fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's all like comedy, and they got like a bunch of like loose, like little etchy stuff, if you will. Little hints of maturity. Like one of them is a masochist, darkness.
Literally, darkness like brings the rating up.
You need to stop that. But like the stuff they write into it is funny. The characters are funny.
Yeah.
Now with ReZero, from what I remember, that's kind of like I can respect it for being that way because it's not all fun and games where you get to get transported to another world, which is interesting, which is why I like the series a bit. I'm just concerned with like I really gotta watch it again because I'm a little concerned. He is exempt from dying like permanently,
right? Because
somebody likes him, the witch or some shit.
Yeah, that's the assumption. We haven't really gotten to the full explanation for that, but we're starting to piece things together with the help of Echidna helping him out here and there.
Okay.
So the reason I wanted to bring up ReZero was because out of all the deaths I've ever seen Subaru go through, and he's gone through so many.
Yeah, he went with one where he did it like willingly. He jumped off that cliff.
Oh, that okay.
Yeah.
That's up there. That's like really high up there.
And the one where he got his head cut off for what's her face getting hurt by that cat. He was like, "If you fuck up, I'll kill you." Remember that? And then he was walking in the snow, and then played that opera music or that sad music.
Yeah,
and his head was on. I was like,
that
fuck.
Like, I think that probably was the cleanest death that he's had.
It was quiet.
This, what just happened, is probably the worst death that's ever like animated I've ever.
That you ever seen animated? That's a bold claim. Like for him, right? Because I mean, like,
yes.
I think it's some animated.
Do you want to know? Because it's so dark.
I feel like I should. He just died and came back, right?
Yeah, but like, of course, like you go through the moral trauma that is. I just felt that. How my.
I think I should hold off and watch it myself.
Okay.
All right. I mean, to be honest, I remember deaths I thought that was pretty bad. I thought Blood Sea had wild deaths, and I hadn't even seen that whole series. Like, you remember that shit? Remember that lion that ripped that girl in half? She was in agony. And I mean, whoever that voice actress was for that whole scene, God bless her throat, because that was from the heart. Like, that shit was guttural. But that's why I'm thinking as far as, like, brutal deaths go. And then there's another thing, like even old anime from like the 80s, like those really wild ass movies where people have titty guns. That was dangerous too.
Titty guns?
Yeah, or like titty mouths. Like, nah. But that's dangerous too. But yeah, I don't know. I'll watch it.
Yeah. All right. So I'll just hold off on that. It's
You
like
hyping it up.
Yeah. It's
if he gets bashed and I don't feel it, I'm gonna give you a hard critique on Yelp because I don't know.
On Yelp,
I want to see
I'm
it.
a Yelp Justin's reviews.
I want to see it because man, I'm like, dang.
Oh my god, dude! Like,
because yeah, man,
it was so harsh. Just when he thought it's like, oh, he's fine, he's not.
It's not. Wrecked.
Yeah, like you'll see like many times where he'll get back up again, and a lot of characters are helping him out. This one particularly, because it deals with the whole premise of him dying several other times and no one knows about it. This one hits like really hard.
Nobody, right?
Nobody.
Because like the way it happens, somebody would forget even if you told them, right?
No, like what happens is that he stopped from doing it because if he follows through, then I assume someone dies instead.
Huh? Oh, cause yeah, like what fucking. Because, like, as far as, like, a fantasy thing, what they're doing is taking, like, shit in video games and just making it fucking traumatizing.
Yeah.
Like, when you die in, like, you die in a Souls game, you don't feel it.
Yeah, you don't.
The character gets back and he's like, ready to get.
Yeah.
But this motherfucker remembers how he died and felt that shit. So, that's interesting. But, yeah, I'll watch it again. Is this season 2?
This is a season 2.
Damn, how long has it been since season 1 came out? I feel like it's been a while.
It's been years. It's like, I think since 2016.
This is believable. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Something like that. And then, like, recently just kind of came back again. We've been waiting for this one.
Jesus. Man, I've been burping all day. All right.
Okay, Rick.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, right. If I was only as smart as Rick.
This was more. You're at.
Boy, I think, what is it? We're like an hour or something in?
Hour 20, actually.
Woo!
My main takeaway, watch ReZero.
Food. Oh, man, I didn't even think about that when I was watching
The
it.
moon has got Eggman. I should have known. And also, Maria.
Fall for the moon. Space Colony Arc. Oh, man. That's funny. I didn't think about that when I was watching it. But God, I think I'm good.
I can't wait for them to animate the Space Colony arc.
Oh, dude. I really got to see what the hell they're going to do.
I think that was actually Sonic X. I think they actually adapted, like...
Oh, yeah,
like,
they adapted.
to,
Yeah. They did that with Sonic, like all the Sonic Adventures.
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2. I think they even had Sonic Battle because Emerald was in the series.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I was like, man, really?
I'm so glad that they didn't put Silver in there.
God.
It's no use!
Oh, man, we've never had no Sonic 06 shit. That'd be awful. Fucking Shadow with a gun.
Elise kissing
Yeah,
Sonic.
right? Chaos busted cap. I don't fucking know. You gotta have a gun.
Legit, the best impression was Gingram's like 2 seconds in.
Oh yeah, it's like, oh fuck. That was the best. I was like, what?
Oh.
Oh man. Yeah, that fucking hard ass guitar. Oh fuck. Oh man.
Oh.
That's a problem. But yeah.
Oh man.
Sonic.
All right. Anything else you wanted to share on that before we call it then?
Shoot, man, I think I'm good. That's all I really have for myself.
A lot of good laughs. So, all right, we'll end it here. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Shout outs to Mark, Ja'Cory Brown, and Jenna for jumping in for this one. But yeah, you guys been listening or watching episode 323. I hope you watched it of DangIT Podcast.
Hearing us cackle.
My name is Justin.
I'm Anaya.
And thanks for watching. # bye, everyone.
Goodness, man. Like, it really just, she was like, oops, I shot my sister. Not really. Then the moon got hit. I was like, what?